Right, you lovely lot. Today I thought we'd take a look at this stuff. This is lit. This is light emitting pigment. And for those of you that remember when you were a kid, you had these like glowing stars on the ceiling of your bedroom, sort of like that, but 100 times more potent. So they come in different colours. I invented it. It comes in different colours. You've got the classic OG lit, which is kind of this, don't know how you'd describe it, almost a sort of milky, sort of off-white, greeny kind of colour. And it glows sort of toxic green in the dark. We also have a yellow lit, a pink lit and a blue lit, and they glow in the dark as well. One of the things that most of you don't know about these is that you can actually mix these together and create whatever colours you want. So these four lits are completely and utterly intermixable, so you can make your own crazy glow-in-the-dark colour combinations. But these glow-in-the-dark, quite unlike anything else that exists really, they really are the world's glowiest glow pigments. So going quickly into just a little bit of the old science behind all this, this is lit. Inside here are what they call rare earth activators. And what I've done that's different from most other glowy things that you can get is I've combined them together. And what that means is, as one of them glows, it actually charges up the next one, which absorbs some of its power, which then emits light, which means they glow for up to 12 hours. So what's happening is it's storing sunlight inside it. It's all going inside, that's charging it up, and then in the dark, obviously, it's going to glow. But actually, they're so powerful, sometimes they can even glow indoors when they're not in the dark, which is a brilliant thing. Each of them's charged by different lights, though, and a lot of people don't understand this. This lit you can charge in any light, even the light on your phone or a torch or a household light. But some of the other lits do actually need UV light to charge them up, which means you really got to get them in the sun if you haven't got a black light. So if you get lit and it's not glowing, the reason is you're putting it on a household bulb and it's not charging it up, and you actually need to get a bit of sunlight on it. So today I thought we would do a nice glow-in-the-dark, freaky kind of beetle. Now, these are obviously pigments, they're just powders. You can't paint with it, it's going to fall off. It needs to stick to the beetle. That's why I invented this stuff, Super Base. A lot of you think that this is some sort of primer for a canvas or something. It's not, it's a paint base. It enables you to turn any of the powders that I make into a paint. So it's very simple to use. We're going to get some Super Base. Squeeze some out, look at that. Oh, it smells good. I love Super Base. So there's a little bit of Super Base. And we're going to make an acrylic paint, because this is an acrylic base. And the difference between this acrylic base and other acrylic bases that you might see is this is capable of holding a lot more pigment than any other base. We can put a lot of powder in it, and it will dry very matte as well. So today I've got, I always say it, don't I, a nice soft brush. And maybe at the time you watch this, I might have even finished making my brushes for you to use. I've been working on those for ages. So I'm going to get some lit, and I'm just going to put some in it. Can you see that? I'm just basically spooning a bit of lit in. And this is, there's no hard and fast rules on this. Everyone always says, how many parts lit, how many parts base, what do you want? And what I say to you is, what are you trying to do? Everybody's trying to make something different. So it's more like cooking, it's more intuitive, it's like baking a cake. This is not about one part this, two parts that. It's you experiment, you make your paint your way. That's what I'm all about, is just opening this up for you to make your materials do what you need them to do, because you know what you're doing. So I'm going to put some in there, and you basically just stir it in. And if that gets a bit too lumpy bumpy for you, you can always add a little bit of water. And if you add a little bit of water to this, you'll probably be able to spray it as well through a spray gun or an airbrush. But anyway, you'll see, because of how it's designed, can you see how nicely that lit goes into that Super Base? And that really is now an incredible glow-in-the-dark paint. And we're going to start putting it on the beetle. I want to tell you something else. What has happened now, you can't see it, I can't see it, a chemical reaction has now started in here. In a few hours from now, that will be rock hard. Even if you put it in a jar and you put a lid on and it's airtight, this is going to go off and go rock hard. So only mix as much lit and base as you need for the job in hand, because if you come back tomorrow and think you can use this again, you can't. So it's mix as you go. And then it's essentially, it's the same on paper, canvas, it'll stick to anything. It's basically an acrylic paint, but I'm going to paint, you won't even see it going on, of course, because it's almost invisible, isn't it? But I'm going to do a nice thin layer of lit. And basically I'm just using it like I would any other paint, because that's what it is. It's just an acrylic paint. It's a glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint. And I'm using the OG classic greenish lit because, oh, it glows so beautifully. But you could do anything with this. You could do some little accents. I've seen people make paintings with lit that I really like, where in the dark, it's almost like the painting's a whole hidden different painting. And there's like a daytime state to the painting and a nighttime state. But it really is glow-in-the-dark paint. But it's glow-in-the-dark paint that's glowier than any other glow-in-the-dark paint. That's how I describe it. So you don't have to use super base, of course. You can mix it into whatever you like. I know a lot of people do nail art, and when they do nail art, they just mix it into a clear nail varnish, and it works really, really well. Or you could mix it into an exterior grade varnish, and maybe you could paint the fence on your house or your driveway so it lights up at night. Whatever you like, really. It mixes into a lot of things. You can mix it with linseed oil, it actually makes oil paint. So there's a lot of freedom with this, and the more you experiment with it, the better it will be. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to build up 1 or 2 coats, because I really want to build up a nice layer. Wow, so there you go. You can see it in the dark, and isn't it bright? I mean, it's almost like a flashlight. I've heard people can even read off this. Super bright, world's brightest light emitting pigment. So hopefully you enjoyed that deep dive into the world of these amazing lit light emitting pigments. If you've got any questions or whatever, you can always post them in the comments or get in touch with me. I love hearing from you. Enjoy lit, and I can't wait to see what you make with it.